Hello, everyone. Welcome to We Talk About It, a podcast born from the depths of pain, hardship, grief, and loss, which led to purpose. I'm your host, Shanette Williams, and I'm here to share this journey with my incredible co-host, Taraya Tomlin Randall. We're so glad you are joining us as we dive deep into the conversations that connects us all. Each episode, we explore a wide range of topics. Absolutely nothing is off limits. We talk about healthy families, broken families, marriage, divorce, politics, racism, to health, wealth, education, and of course, spirituality. We believe that every story matters and your voice deserves to be heard. We're excited to bring special guests along the way who will share their unique insights and experiences. Joining us is the wonderful Miss Charlene Davenport, whose perspectives add even more richness to our discussions. We're excited and can't wait to engage with you all and share the stories that can help us heal and grow. Whether you're facing tough times or just curious about the world, tune in to We Talk About It, where every conversation is a step towards understanding and connection. So, let's talk about it together. Good evening, everyone. My name is Shanette, and welcome to another episode of We Talk About It. I'm your host, as we all know, and I'm thrilled to be here tonight, joined by Suki and our special guest, the McGuffies. Suki, if you will.
Hi, my name is Suki. Welcome, everyone. We are so glad to have you. I'm so grateful to have you all to listen to your story and share your story with so many people that need to know, and for you to find your sense of community to let you know that you are not fighting alone.
Right. And a great big thank you to our audience for your continued support. Remember, you can find us streaming on all platforms. Yes, I said all platforms. And for more information about the show, be sure to check out our website at www.podpage.com. We talk about it. It's the hub for everything you need to know about our episodes and special guests. And speaking of special guests, we have a dynamic duo, a husband and wife, Drew and Shannon McGuffie, and they are the loving parents of Melody and Halo. Drew works as an insurance agent. I might need to holler at you later. And Shannon is a flight attendant. You know you can help me. On August the 1st, 2023, their world was forever changed when they lost their precious daughter. And I want to stop right there because I want to give Shannon and Drew the floor to talk about this experience.
Well, what I will say is, we're regular people, regular lives. Never would have thought that something so catastrophic would ever happen to us.
Absolutely.
We have two daughters. We have a 5-year-old, that's Melody, and our youngest one is in heaven, and that's Halo.
Yeah.
August 1st, 2023, our youngest daughter passed away during birth at 20 weeks. Due to medical malpractice and gross negligence. Essentially, we went for our 20-week anatomy scan, was told everything was fine, that we were going to have a great pregnancy, we were on a great track, and come to find out, a thorough anatomy scan was never done, and the measurements and the information they gave us was a complete lie, because there's nothing on any of the scans they did to tell us anything about the pregnancy, whether it was good or bad. And as we all know, 20 weeks is a very important time in the pregnancy.
Yeah.
Like, that tells you everything. So something like that has to be accurate. It has to be done.
Right.
And basically what they did was nothing. And they told us a lie. We believed them. A couple of days after that anatomy scan, I went into labor with Halo, and she passed away. And my husband had to watch the entire thing unfold. She was born breech, so he had to watch her strangle. And that's about as far as I can go due to pending litigation. But I would say that there's not a day that goes by that we don't think about her, that it doesn't affect us. We are grieving daily, and it's not just Drew and I. Our older daughter, Melody, she feels it too. She makes comments too. And it's just become a part of our life. It's not something that we get over. We carry it with us. It's very heavy. Some days it's so heavy I can't get out the bed. And my husband has just been such a great help. Like holding everything together. It's preventing me from being able to work and just do basic stuff, and he's been holding it down and helping keep everything afloat, and I'll let him talk a
You
little
know,
bit more.
I want to just applaud you, Drew, because this is a beautiful thing to have a husband and a wife and to be able to witness that it's not just you, Shannon, going through it alone. It has affected, and there are so many platforms that I've been on, and we highlight from our perspective. But it is a blessing just to see this husband and wife duo, and you're bound together, grieving together. Not to say it's easy, but it makes it easier when you're together. And I really do applaud you, and my heart goes out to you as well.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you for those words. Yeah, definitely. It's very difficult. It takes a severe mental toll.
Yes,
But I mean, I would say that my wife Shannon, she's selling herself short a little bit because
I
she's
believe it.
she's been doing an excellent job. We've been working together where I'm weak, she's strong. Where she's weak, I'm strong. Some days, you know, she may only have 15%. I give 85. Some days I may have 5%. She give 95. And ultimately, that's what it's all about through whatever trials and tribulations that we go through, especially with this situation with our daughter Halo. It's extremely vital that we stick together through this
Yeah.
because it's the type of thing, just to be frank, a lot of couples don't make it through for a lot of different reasons. So it's important for me to stand with her. Obviously, I love her, so I'm not going nowhere anyway.
That's right.
But it's very important for us to support each other, and then for us to be there for our daughter Melody, who I would say is her father's child because she asks all the questions. She doesn't leave any stones unturned. And despite how young she is, she turns 6 next month. She deserves answers as well. And even though we
Exactly.
can't give her all the
Exactly.
answers right now, she'll figure it out as she gets older. But we both have a role to play in us getting through this.
Hmm.
And like Shannon mentioned earlier, it's this. I never imagined anything like this happening to us. What's crazy is the morning where everything started to go down. It felt like a regular Monday morning.
Hmm.
I'm getting ready to. I'm actually getting ready to go to the gym. She's getting ready to take our daughter Melody to get her hair done
For her first day of pre-K.
for her first day of pre-K,
Wow.
pre-K 3.
Yeah,
Boom.
I just started, bleeding.
Right. Flip the whole day, and it's like,
Yeah.
and imagine expecting your second daughter in a few months, and then something happened, and then less than 24 hours later, your child is gone.
It's
And we couldn't
devastating.
get any
Yeah,
help. We couldn't
it's
get any
It
help
is
at any
devastating.
stage. We
It
couldn't
is
get help from the
devastating.
OB office. We couldn't get help from the hospital when we went to the ER. Even like on the maternity floor, we couldn't get help. It was like, no, 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 we can't help you. We can't help you. We can't help you. Constant delays. And like, you would just never think in an emergency situation that you couldn't depend on the people that are supposed to handle emergency situations to do their job. And so we basically were left alone
navigate
to
this.
navigate this. And it was horrible. And like you said, it was a normal day, and it ended up being the worst day of our life.
My heart is heavy for y'all, especially when you were talking about the ultrasound. I've been an ultrasound technician since 2004. So I've worked in multiple hospitals, multiple private practices, and I found myself in a clinical setting to where outside of the hospital, but I still have primary care with caring for patients. And I can't imagine, I guess, from my perspective of being an ultrasound technician, I take my job very seriously and go above and beyond and will argue a doctor down. It's like, no, you need to go and look at
Right.
this, or you need to do this. This placenta is not wherever, or this baby is breech, and a BPP or whatever, for them to not do certain things to you that could have prevented some of the things, from happening early on. They could have done a scan. Like at 20 weeks, when you said an anatomy scan, we look at everything. We have to
Right.
look, count fingers, toes, placenta grade, all of the things. And I feel like, a disservice was done to you and your family.
Absolutely.
Saddened and upset. And I know you all are upset and hurt, but it just, pisses me off, to be frankly honest, that another Black family had to go through grief and loss when something your voices should have been heard and someone should have been able to help you, and they didn't.
No, the reaction it was like we completely fell through a perfect. They have the cheese grater analogy, and you just go straight through every layer to your death. That was basically what happened to us. We called the OB office and told them that, hey, something's going on. I don't know what's going on. They said, we can't see you. You got to go to the ER. Go to the ER. Oh, we don't do labor and delivery. You got to go labor and delivery. Oh, no, you have to prove to me that you're 20 weeks pregnant before we even help you. And it was just like, what? I've never known this to be the protocol. Like I said, this is my second child. I didn't even know something like this could happen. I just didn't know that they could do that in an emergency situation, but they can, and they did. And
They did.
And Suki, I'm glad you said what you said about how seriously you take your job, because that's really what everybody who is in the medical field should do. Like, you
They
guys have
take
a
an oath. To
responsibility.
be honest,
Right.
they take an oath.
And that's my stance on every, I can't, I can't, and I have to ask God to really help me not to have that type of anger in my heart. But I can't, for the life of me, feel sympathy for doctors for the simple reason politicians, there was nobody on that journey with you when you took that oath to do no harm. And for lives to be harmed at the hands of the professionals that we trust, it's just different for me. And every day, I kid you not, I have to really just pray and ask God to help me not to hate doctors. And that's the profession that I'm actually going after. And it's almost like, okay, well, we don't want to go to jail. But then I think about, well, what about our ancestors? They marched. They did everything they did. They took beatings. They took bruises just so that we can have freedom of voice. And you mean to tell me that the profession that you chose, your career, you would put it on the line, not put it on the line for people just so that you can be comfortable?
But
And
that's
just
why
say,
you have to find
I'll go somewhere else.
like-minded physicians, like-minded
Yeah.
medical professionals in all areas, because when HB 481 came and they said that abortion ban or whatever, it was to where you had to decide, what am I going to do? How am I going to navigate to be able to give these folks the care that they need? But in the state of Georgia, they don't want you to have a healthy baby. They don't even want you to be able to have the right to choose to have an abortion. And it should not be, let me think about this. It's like you said, it's the oath that you took to protect. That's just like if
Yeah.
I'm driving down the street and I see a car accident, and I could be tired as a mug and I don't want to stop. But if I don't see a first responder there, it's my oath, it's my duty to pull over to make sure that they're okay until somebody else comes. But we've gotten so afraid to be able
Yeah.
to want to render aid or to help or to do what's right. And we have to figure out with Drew and Shannon's voices to be able to switch that narrative and let people know, if I got to
And
go
let
sit a
people know.
day in jail because I helped this family save their child's life, or be able to get their lives saved for Shannon to be able to have future children or whatever the case may be, let me do that, because that's the right moral thing to do. You all should not have had to advocate for yourselves or beg or plead, I'm bleeding, I'm hurting, something isn't right. It should have been, let me hook you up, let me do an ultrasound,
That's
let me
something
see
that
what's
simple.
going on. It should have been cut and dry, the end, period.
Right.
I would say that's what we were expecting, and
Right.
I you know, it's so crazy after everything happened and you sit and talk to the doctors and stuff. Their thing is, oh, you can always have another one.
And
So
that's
that's like the excuse for them to like, hey, you'll be all right. You can always have another one.
So they don't even value.
They don't value life. You can always
Exactly.
have another one.
Exactly.
It's like, I'm like, no, there will never be another Halo. Yes, I
Yeah.
could have more children, but I will never have her. Like, people aren't replaceable.
It's not a
and
human on
then
this
they're
earth.
afraid to even think about
Yeah,
having another child with what has happened.
exactly. It's not a human on this earth who hasn't been in the situation that Halo has been in as far as, the pregnancy process and being born. So every pregnancy needs to be taken with that much
Exactly.
urgency, because what if that was the doctor telling us that? What if that was you?
Hmm.
It could have been, it's, I don't know, it's a long way. And you mentioned how hard it is for you to not, hate doctors at this point. That's a underrated trauma that we deal with our situation. About a year and a half ago, our daughter had to have surgery to kind of for adenoids and tonsils and things like that, and we were like mortified after what happened to Halo. It's like I'm having a hard time even wanting to put her in this situation.
Hmm.
Thankfully, we found a great, a great doctor to take care of her and handle her. But any doctor, anytime we have to put ourselves in a situation where we have to trust the medical industry, it's a trauma that we
It's a trauma.
face when we do it.
And I will say
Unnecessary
that
trauma.
doctor, I pulled that doctor to the side after she spoke to us, and I was like, hey, I'm a mom, and I just lost my baby girl. I can't handle another one of these.
Yeah.
And I told her, like, you came highly recommended, and my spirit is telling me to trust you, but I just want you to know you really can't mess this up. Like, this is my life. When you see her on that table, it's me, her, and Drew on that table. We need you to treat her as your own.
Yeah.
Through talking to her, she said something. I'm like, wait a minute, you're Jamaican? And she was like, yeah. I said, I am too. I was like, there's something about you just feels so familiar. It was almost like she was sent to us from God.
From God.
Or
Yeah.
she even looks like we could even be related. And I'm talking to her. She's like, I got you. She's my baby, and I'm about to do surgery on my child.
Yes.
And I will come back out and let you know personally when the job is done. And she did. But when I tell you, me and Drew were like sick that whole time. That procedure felt like it was taking forever.
Forever.
And we pacing the ground and we pleading the blood of Jesus, like, God, please.
Yeah.
And it ended up being okay, but our daughter does have asthma, so anytime she gets sick, that's another trigger for us. She's like, oh God, like, let's not miss. I hope the doctors we choose care about my child. I hope they get this right. With her having asthma, she has to sometimes get chest x-rays. You worry about pneumonia when she catches a cold. It's a whole triggering event.
Exactly.
To the point where I don't even sleep. Like, I literally sit over her all night and checking oxygen. I'm paranoid at this point. I feel like I could just never truly trust the medical field again.
And what you're saying right
took a
now,
daughter from us.
what you're saying right now is very much needed for the world to hear. Not only about the loss of
Yes.
your daughter, but the trauma that every time you walk into a doctor's office to care for your daughter, that's what they need to listen and understand, because you're a real people. You get what I'm saying? They get so numb and just like, oh, it's another whatever. But your story is very powerful and is very strong, because as long as I've been in this role of being an advocate, I've never heard that part of the trauma on that level and the triggers of what happens. And that's very powerful. And that definitely needs to be sounded around the globe, because somebody else may be dealing with it but has never expressed it. So I, you know, thank you both for being able to share that part,
Yeah.
because that was very, very like much needed. Trust me.
Yeah. And Drew,
Absolutely.
I wanted to just flip it a little,
Hmm.
and I wanted to from a male perspective, because we highlight us, but from a male perspective, how has it been for you? And there are a lot of men going through it. I know Amber's father, I did not know that it was so bad for him that he wanted to commit suicide. And, just hearing that, I don't think we highlight men enough. And then I guess y'all have been so trained to just be strong, hold it in, don't speak about it. But it's good to speak about it. It's good to be vulnerable. It's good to let it out. And I just want to hear from you how this has been for you since this has happened. The grief, the loss, the changes.
To be honest, I'm very appreciative of you even asking that question.
People will literally come up to him and be like, "Oh man, how's Shannon? How's she doing?" And they'll never ask him how he's doing.
Yeah,
Like, they talking to him.
I appreciate you asking.
Yeah.
No, it's a kind of it's a tough thing to navigate because obviously I want her to have all the attention and whatever she needs to be able to help get through this process, because I can never put myself in her shoes. Like I can never know what it's like to have feel a pregnant baby in my stomach and feel the life, so naturally the world's going to gravitate to the woman in these situations. But it is difficult, and I'll be vulnerable and honest. Sometimes it does make me feel away a little bit when people kind of bypass how you feel. But I'm also the type of person who I'm not, a lot of times, like you said, I do feel that I feel the need to kind of be strong and carry it and show that I'm good, and I don't need you to ask me anything. But that it, like you mentioned with your with Amber's father and him experiencing what he did, there is a definite mental toll in this whole situation. And it feels great. Obviously my family, like my mother and father, I have 5 brothers. So when they check on me and things like that, it does feel good. You feel one thing about this process is right after it happens, you notice everybody pouring in, wanting to be there for you, show you love, things like that. And then, obviously as time goes on, human nature is going to kick in. And if you're not outwardly expressing that you're not good, people aren't going to know. They're not going to ask. And I know part of why probably people haven't checked on me as much as I have is because I have been presenting I've been okay, I've been good throughout this process. But it has been difficult. It's been 2.5 going on 3 years now.
Yeah.
And I sit and wonder every day. We just our daughter up last week. She had Black History, a week where she dressed up as Tina Turner, a 70s character, stuff like that. And I have thoughts like, dang, I wish Halo was here to see her big sister, do this. And then likewise for my daughter Melody to be able to, share those experiences with her little sister as well. So pretty much every year that goes by, every day that goes by, I was like, dang, I wonder, she'd be walking right now. She'd be talking by now. Mm-hmm. She'd be doing this, that, and the third. So just to kind of wrap that up in a bow, there is a process where we do feel unseen, but I am finding resources where I can connect with certain people and help men be seen. And maybe that's my responsibility to build that community.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because it's almost, we're raised to present like we're good regardless of the situation. And sometimes we just not good. It's tough. It's a struggle, but I feel the most it makes me feel the best when I'm in a community and we're talking about it and we're being open about it and discussing it. It feels refreshing to do that. But a lot of us, it's we're not doing that. We'll be all right. Just, keep moving. So, yeah, we'll definitely feel like it's something, especially you asking the question, and maybe something that I start or that I do. I've been having thoughts and wanting to, explore that, because even, with therapy, I haven't even gotten therapy since this has happened. But part of it is because I want to talk to somebody who can relate to what I've been through. And a lot of times I feel like it's difficult for me to at least pinpoint in the ways that we're looking for therapists. I'll look through them nah, I don't want to talk to them. Wanting to find somebody who I know that's like me and that can relate to what I'm going through. Mm-hmm. I feel like that'll be the best therapy for me.
I better give you my therapist, because Dr. Oh my God, Dr. yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that you use the word vulnerable. I don't know too many men that will use that word. And that let me know that you will be good whenever you start your conversation with men, no matter how big or how small it will be, because you're going to show up as your authentic self.
Yeah.
And that showed me when you just said that, and that you are willing to put yourself out there to be able to help people during your time of grief whenever it arises. And grief to me is like you can learn, you can't stop the waves, but you can learn how to surf. And it sounds like that's what you're trying
Hmm.
to do right now, and be able to uplift somebody else or to help them get through what they're going through, even though you still have times where you need to just sit and try to reground yourself to be able to get through another day, another minute, another time. So that's
Absolutely.
good.
For sure. I mean, this is like I said, I never would imagine anything like this happening. Like even, my personal story, I didn't get hit hard with death until my grandmother passed. I was 29 years old, first
Mhm.
funeral. So to go through that and then get hit with something like this where your own child passes
Yes.
away,
It's a
it's,
different feeling. It's a
it's
different
very
feeling.
difficult. But I mean, I feel like, this is a path that God trusted us both to walk,
Hmm.
Yeah.
because they're even talking to you guys and being connected with you guys has been a blessing. The things that he keeps showing us along the way
Yeah.
of our fight and of being vulnerable and speaking out about this, we keep getting confirmation from him that we're doing the right thing and we're going in the
Absolutely.
right direction.
Hmm.
Yes.
Hmm.
Nobody wants to experience what we're experiencing. Like,
Yes.
Hmm.
that's not anything that anybody wants to deal
Hmm.
with. And there is no you can't understand. It's Proverbs 3:5.
Yep.
Hmm.
Trust the Lord.
You know, they're trusting the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your
And
own
lean
understanding.
not to your
I
own
don't
All
understanding.
understand
your
it.
ways.
I don't understand
Acknowledge
it,
All
him.
but
your
I gotta
ways.
trust you and know that you leading
Mm.
us in the right direction.
Yeah.
You guys can't
So
see, but I'll send y'all pictures. He has a beautiful tattoo in honor of our daughter on his
Please
left
send
arm
it.
that
Yes.
has that scripture.
so that's the
Um,
Yes.
scriptures right here, and I got a whole bunch of
Okay.
other stuff. It's
Yes.
my only tattoo. I never planned on getting any tattoos, and then when this happened, I made an exception.
And I'm glad that you said that, because throughout my whole process, I said, Lord, you chose me to be Amber's mom.
Hmm. Hmm.
You wrote this story. You knew this was going to happen.
Hmm.
I didn't know. So,
Hmm.
what am I supposed to do with this? And he's placed me in rooms that I never thought, ever thought. I had nothing vested in anything but to live my little simple life and get older, watch the kids and the grandbabies get older. There's not a manual on how to be a perfect parent. So I
Mm-mm.
No.
won't ever sit and tell people lies like I was just this angel, because it's been a journey. But
mhm.
I said I really started to hone in on Jeremiah 29. I know the plans. I know the plans I have for you, said the Lord's plans to
Mhm.
prosper you. And I'm saying, I'm putting all of that into perspective. And it's like, you know, it's like he's bringing it all together. And it's just like, okay, although it's traumatic and what we see doesn't line up with what he's saying, but we got to keep going.
Hmm.
Every time I go to the cemetery, every time I look at the obituary, every time I see a picture of Amber, is don't stop, don't quit, keep going. Don't
Mhm.
stop, don't quit,
Quit.
keep
Keep
going.
going.
And it's like, okay, God, but what we see around us, it's like they're winning. But
Mhm.
evil has an expiration date. And when people hear me talking, I never say that, oh, it's no, I say laws will be changed. Laws will be changed. Because God, you didn't bring us. You didn't choose me. This could have been anybody's fight. But it had to be me. It had to be y'all. It had to be you.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you say, okay, God,
Yeah, a lot of people
what
aren't
you
strong
want
enough
me to do?
to,
Mm-mm.
I mean, I want to say strong enough. Everybody's strong in their own way, but
Come on.
not everybody wants to be vocal, and because it's hard. It would have been the easier route for us would have been to, just grieve in silence and,
Exactly.
kind of move on and not have to keep telling the story over and over again and putting ourselves in triggering situations. But he knew that both of us weren't the type of people that was going to do that. So
I would say I wouldn't be able to do that. This is especially like triggering and like it's just so crazy. Like, you grow up and things happen in your family and people don't always talk about things, especially in our culture,
Exactly.
cry in the
Exactly.
shower. You never
That's
cry in
right.
public, and you be
But
that
those
strong
are
Black
my
woman
house,
and keep it
stay in my
moving.
house.
And that will, or else let me
Yep.
find out.
Mhm.
But as I mentioned earlier, part of my family is from Jamaica, and my grandparents, they came to this country with nothing. They worked to the bone to get
Yeah.
their children over here to America. And once they did, they ended up having their sixth child, my uncle.
Wow.
And this was over 50 years ago in the Bronx, New York. I was talking to my aunt, and she was like, "Yeah, you have an uncle here." My mom, I always thought was the youngest, but she wasn't. There was one after her, but my grandparents never spoke about it. Basically, my grandmother was going into labor. She went to the hospital, told them that the baby was coming. She was in pain. They gave her a room, but they turned off her call button to call the nurse's station. And they kept telling her, "No, the baby's not coming. You're not further enough along, dilated. You need to go home." She was like, "No." And she was a nurse attendant at this hospital, a nurse's aide at the hospital. They refuse to see her. She gets frustrated. She decides that she's going to leave the hospital. On her way out, she collapses onto the ground in one of the hallways, and she gives birth to my uncle. It was raining that day, and the doctor, I think he forgot to get his umbrella, and it was something else in the office, maybe a pen. He turned back in to go get it, and there was my grandmother in a pool of blood, and my uncle. And my uncle ended up dying because they couldn't get him in the incubator fast enough, and they had to do a blood transfusion on my grandmother. Being immigrants to this country, they didn't know about anything about lawsuits or suing or anything. They just try to follow the rules as best they can. They paid the medical bills that was sent to the house.
I wish I would pay a bill.
And
I wish I would.
it was just crazy because you come into this country and you don't know what you can do, what you can't do. You're just looking for a better life for your family. So I get why they did what they did. But my grandmother after that needed a procedure done, and they asked her if she ever had to get a blood transfusion or anything like that. She said yeah. She went back to the hospital to try to get this record, and they said they don't have no record of her. That never happened. They completely wiped the system. So that day, my grandfather stopped paying the bill. And I just say this to tell you that, that happened to my grandmother. And here it is. Her great-granddaughter is now a victim of this system in this country. And so after hearing that story, I was like, I will not stay silent. Like, this stops now. Like, this won't carry on past this. I can't even believe that was over 50 years ago, maybe 60 years ago. And here I am crying the same tears that my grandmother did. And why? Because nobody would help them. She was ignored. The same thing, pushed to the side. They didn't want me there, just like they didn't want her there. And it's just like, when is enough ever going to be enough? Like, I can't stay silent about this.
And Shannon, do you know how many women, how many families, how many women have gone through this and will never know because they're silent? And that would have been me. It took the journalist 2 years. I wanted to grieve in silence. I didn't want to be bothered with anybody. This is a trauma that I wouldn't wish on anybody. I couldn't explain it.
Would you say you felt ashamed? Because I know this is crazy to
Yes.
say, but I felt ashamed because as a mother, your job is to protect your children to the grave. Like, if anything
felt all of
happened,
that.
if you supposed to front line, you the mother, and ain't nothing supposed to get past you.
You
And
know,
for me, I felt like I failed.
yeah.
Like, I let my child down. I chose people who didn't have the best intentions for her.
Yep.
And she became a victim of my decision to choose them for her care. So that was another part of me not wanting to speak or say anything, like, for the longest. It took me a year before I said anything publicly to anybody. And the only reason why I spoke at a year is because God woke me up one night clean up out my sleep. And I don't even sleep. It's been so hard for me to sleep. But this night, I was able to get into a rest. And he told me to get up now and start writing. And I'm like, no, I'm not. What? Just got my first little bit of sleep. Like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm not about. Started getting a cramp in my leg. But then what I gotta do? Get up. I get up. I start writing. Just all this stuff. And it's not my words. My hand's just moving. He's just telling me things to say, things to do. And like, you have to speak. And I'm like, me? Oh no, I no. These people already beat me down, battered and bruised. Now you asking me to go tell everybody what they did. I feel like I'm walking down the street naked, and everyone can see every scar.
Yeah.
And to have, like my husband used the word vulnerable. Like, I've not been raised to be that, especially as a Black woman. You can't afford to be vulnerable. You get
You're ate up.
You would get ate up. So him telling me to do it, and the video that we did when we told everyone, it's on my Instagram page, but
Okay.
I basically found this organization called the Birth Fund, and what they do is they sponsor midwifery care for women, to have safer pregnancies. And they have this thing, we can create a birth fund cycle, and you can donate money to a family if they want to have midwifery care services. So I was thinking that was a great way to try to help someone not end up in my shoes. You don't have to go to the hospital, you can do midwifery care. And telling everyone about this organization, I came across, God told me, hey, connect the two. Let them know this is not just something that you like and you want them to do. Let them know this happened to you. Because people only care when they can spot somebody else that it happened to. Yep. Especially if they look like them. They'll be more willing to care. So even the concept behind that, me and Drew, we worked on it together and we put it out. And it was God. It wasn't me, because I did not want to do this. I don't want to be doing this right here. Like, I appreciate this opportunity to speak with you guys and talk about this, but I don't want to do it. I'd much rather have Halo right now.
Exactly.
In that room with her sister Melody sleeping. That's what I'd much rather do. But, you can't tell God.
Can't tell God
what you want to do.
Wish I
You
could.
just can't. You
God,
just
I wish
can't.
I could.
And growing up in the church, my grandfather being a pastor, that's one thing you always said, like, don't question God. When he's sending you on a mission, it's for a reason.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
And he knows
though.
how far
It's
you can
not
go.
easy.
If somebody,
But I'm like, listen, sometimes I'm like, God, did you read the manual? Like, this is not what I'm built for. It's not soft life. This is not it. But it is. He knows how much you can carry. And
he knows
today,
how much you can bear, yes.
I'm like, I think this is too heavy.
It's too much.
I don't think I can carry this or bear this. This is too much. But I just say all that to say, like, I'm talking to you, Shanae, I just want to know if you felt that similar shame.
Well, let me tell you, 24 months, I didn't talk to anybody. My family couldn't reach me. It worried my dad. But the encounter that I had at the hospital, I was the doctor's cheerleader. I told my child she was in the best of care. Don't worry. They got her. They were going to take care of her, not even knowing that they were playing in my face. Amber kept telling me it was too painful. I didn't understand. I would dry her tears and tell her they were going to take care of her. And in 22, after it happened, it was what did I miss? I'm her mom. I should have known something. Mm-hmm. So even to this day, I still deal with that. But it's better because, I pray and I really ask God to really, when those feelings start to try to come to just bombard me, I pray about it. But after 24, when I found out with the world, when we found out with the world what really happened, I went through a metamorphosis. It was like, what kind of mom were you? You should have known this.
The mother intuition. You always hear that, mother's intuition. I'm like, how do I not have that?
That was tormenting me. You birthed her. Mm-hmm. And you couldn't tell. Mm-hmm. I was tormented. You couldn't tell. You birthed her.
Yeah.
You birthed her. You carried this child for 9 months, and I could see her face with the tears telling me, you don't understand. This is pain. And I'm telling her, no, you're in the best hands. The doctors got you. And I felt stupid. And I felt like they betrayed me.
Mm-hmm.
They betrayed my trust.
Mm-hmm.
They did.
I felt like, you could have told me. I didn't have any ill will towards doctors, anybody. I was your cheerleader. And every time you came into the room, we're getting ready to do this, we're getting ready to do that. When all you had to do was tell me, this is what's going on. You can keep her here. But if all they had to do was communicate with me.
It's just stringing along. They string you along.
We would have been on a plane to Timbuktu if that's where that would have kept her alive. And I had to deal, it took me a long time. I wouldn't talk, literally, my brother is a pastor. We are extremely close. I shut everybody out. And that was something I had to deal with.
That's what you just said, shutting people out. That's been the thing.
Yeah.
That my husband hasn't done it so much, but it's more so me that did it. And people not understanding or taking it personal.
They take it
Exactly.
Personal against them. And it's like, oh, she got an attitude. She mad. Or if somebody may be pregnant, like, oh, I don't want to talk to her or let her know nothing because she may feel it. And I'm like, listen,
That's not
you
even-
are not even on my radar right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm literally floating and I'm trying to get footing. I'm
trying
trying
to
to figure out how to get
you're
back
trying
on
to
the ground
navigate.
level. And I
Yeah.
still have a 5-year-old daughter that I have to be present and alert for, So
Yeah.
it's like, that was really hard for me. Like, I had to block everybody out. Couldn't take on anybody's feelings or emotions. If you were around me, you had to be pouring into me. And if you weren't pouring into me, you got to get out of here. I have no space and capacity. And even to this day, so I'm about to be 3 years, I still get that way. I may be out today and I'm happy and I can talk and I'm whatever. Then tomorrow, this tomorrow coming up,
Yes.
I'm not talking to you. I don't want to speak.
Yeah.
And it's not you. You have to let me
And it's sad.
adjust. Yeah.
that, I think people think that we're supposed to be okay. It's a time limit. And
not.
It's not a time limit on this. You don't know how you're going to feel. But what I did do during that time that I shut everybody out because the opinions would make it worse.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Amazon and I got every Bible. I bought every Bible that you could, from the Woman's to the New Living Translation to the Standard to the Holy Bible. I got about 10 Bibles. And I said, okay, God, I don't want to hear from anybody else. You knew this was going to happen. You're going to have to be the one to help me through this.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the first time ever in life that I felt like I was about to lose my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't explain it to, as strong as I am. I felt like
You
at
can't
that
articulate it. You can't.
No,
I can't
it's so
express it. You
hard.
can't. It
Yeah.
is.
I couldn't express it. I couldn't articulate it. And it didn't make it any better when people that were close to you thinking that, oh, she feeling guilty because of A, B, C, and D. That wasn't even the case. It was the fact that I felt like I was about to lose my mind because I was right there in that hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew absolutely nothing. I detected nothing. So it was torment. It was trauma. It was guilt. It was embarrassment. It was shame. It was all of those emotions trying to hit me at one time. And the fact that a parent buried a child. I never thought this would be me. I never thought. And I love my siblings. I love my nieces, and we got a large family. But I said, it's 7 of us, and everybody has children.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
And that's the other part. That's the other part where you get to
And I'm
Still
so,
having children.
and I'm so, and it's not. I love. Believe me, I love my family. But I asked God that question: why did
all
it
the
have to
time.
be me?
Yeah.
What was it
Literally.
about me?
Literally.
What was it about me? Was I so bad? Did I do something so bad that I was being punished?
Yeah.
What was it about me? That's all I've wanted, was to get myself together and to love and to bring my family closer, my immediate, and let them know that here I am. I'm here. all past mistakes. I'm vulnerable. Here I am. I'm open. I'm here. Whatever I
There
can
was
do.
it's like you just said, burying a child. So
Yeah.
after my daughter passed away, I received a book called Prayers for Difficult Times, and the quote that just came to mind. I'm actually going back to it right now, just
Okay.
to try to explain to you, like just to piggyback off what you're saying. Let me read it to you about when a parent. Sorry, this is difficult for me. How do I get to them? All right. When parents die, their children are called orphans. When a spouse dies, their mating partner is called a widow or a widower. But when a child dies, there is no word in the English language for the parents that are left behind.
Mm-mm.
And that brought me to tears because it's just like, I don't have anybody I can talk to.
Mm-mm.
Like, this is the ultimate blow
Yeah.
that you can receive as a human, like how. And I didn't want to talk to anyone who hadn't lost a child. And I had a friend who lost a child, and she was a great help to me because I don't want to talk to you. You got all your kids. Don't talk to me. Like,
Yeah.
do not. Like, and it's not a jealousy thing. It's not.
It's not.
I'm so lost. I need somebody that's just as lost as me so we can talk about this together and get through
But
this together. Because I just can't, you don't know this pain. You got to know this pain. You
Yeah.
have to
but
know
you
it
know
for
what,
me to trust
Shannon?
what you're saying.
Shannon, with me, I lost a child in a different capacity, and for me, I did not want to talk to people that lost a child
That
because
was
I didn't want to trigger their trauma for them to think about their loss.
Well, I will
And
say
it
my
was
friend reached out to me to tell me, hey, you come and you talk to me. Don't you feel like you triggering me and you can't talk to me?
they
Yeah.
did, but it was still,
You
I felt it
still,
was automatic. I was just like, I don't want you to relive the loss of your child. And so I didn't, but everybody was different, but like all of you, like you both said, I didn't want to talk to nobody. I was just trying to figure out how to breathe. I was trying to figure out how to get up. I was
and it's
trying to
still the
figure out how to
same way.
get to work. And some days it may be better than others. And then some days I may just be sitting at my ultrasound machine at work like, please God, I need for you to help me because I don't know what to do right now.
Yeah.
And but what you just read, that right there, it just hit me like you don't.
It's no words.
There's nothing.
yeah, like, what
Because
do
you
you call
never
us? Like, what
because
what group is this?
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. And then you wake up and you're like, Lord, why me? I don't want to be the strong person. Like, why did you put this on me? You
Yeah.
knew that I can handle it, but I'm duct tape and bubble gum right now. Like there's nothing else.
Yeah.
But my faith that's keeping me standing right now,
Yes.
and my
Yes.
sense of community that I keep finding to pour into me, like you said, if you can't pour into me, I don't have nothing to give you. Like there's nothing, I don't have anything for you. But
And I've
it
never been
is
like that before. I'm always wanting
exactly,
to help
exactly,
someone, and
That
I
was
exactly.
always
me.
gonna take on more than I can control. I will always
Yeah.
take on everybody's problems, even if I couldn't take it on.
To a
And
fault.
he always tells me about that. Because if there's one good thing that came out of this, is you saying no.
You
Because you
saying
don't
no.
say no. You go to the
Yeah.
full max for
Mm-mm.
everybody. If they need help, you go into bat into war beside them. Like, you don't
Hmm.
have your own stuff to do with.
Yeah.
But something like this happens, there is no play space, no capacity for
No.
Yeah.
no
I think
foolishness.
for me, it was I got a psychiatrist, I got a therapist, and I got a grief counselor. And with my psychiatrist, she wanted me to go to a group. And I told her no. I want it to be selfish. For me, I don't want to hear somebody else in the group talking about their experience. That was their experience. Mine is different. So I felt like it would have been taking away from what I was experiencing. So I needed to do this by myself with just my professionals, God first and the professionals. Just,
Yeah, I've had to do therapy and all the things that you have
yeah.
said and mentioned. And me and Drew, we actually did do a session with a group of people who have they recently lost a child at the time. And I remember looking at him and thinking, I don't want to do this again. I'm not doing a sit down like this again. We don't
I
even
feel like
belong in
it's
this. I feel
yeah,
like I don't
it's
belong in
not
this. This
personal.
cannot be the group that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
And not to say not it's not personal. It's not to be cocky. It's just like it was
Mm-hmm.
overwhelming for me. Like I can't believe this. Like how do we end up here? Like and it was ripping up another wound in me
Mm-hmm.
too, because it's like these people they were fresh out of just losing their child, maybe like a month or like 2 weeks, and at the point we had did it, it was a year, and I'm just like
Maybe
looking at
two.
their faces, yeah, maybe even two when we did it, and the pain and the sorrow and the grief, it
Mm-hmm.
literally just I think it like reset me back. And after we did that meeting with that group, I went through another depression.
I couldn't do it.
I went
I
through
told him
really
no.
deep depression after that.
Yeah, I said no.
Depression the whole time, really, but certain things can really. And Drew would know I'm not moving out the bed, fasting up in the morning.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He like, all right, those one of those days, all right. When he calls out Melody, I got you, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
this is,
What I will,
yeah.
what I
Have
do
to
want to say, just really quickly is, at least in our situation specifically, like how integral and important and necessary our daughter Melody has been to us to get through it.
Yeah.
Aside from just the fact that we have a daughter who needs us, like we needed her more than she needed us
Exactly.
Yes,
to be able
yes,
to get
yes.
through this. Like some of the things that she would say and do, like it would be amazing if we were able to like catch it on camera. It's like it's just unbelievable. She's a very special child. And I'm not just saying that because she's our child. Like she's incredible, and I hate that this is her life as well.
Yes.
But you know, us having her to be able to center us
She's
while
like
She's
this
your
our
is going,
North
light.
Star.
like
She's your
North
lifeline.
Star.
it's been everything to us. Like it's like it brings me like so much joy to be her father, and
And it makes you
for God to have
overprotective.
blessed us with her,
Yeah.
and know, okay, you guys are going to go through this, but I do got y'all. I got her here. She's going to
Mm-hmm.
help you guys get through this. In stages, whether, we had different experiences of how she helped us, but, she was there for us. Like she was there for us more than we were there for her. We could just be sitting, like it was times throughout this process, I would literally be staring at a wall for 20 minutes and I realize I'm staring at a wall for 20 minutes. And then she'll like come in and like randomly just give me a kiss on the cheek, like stuff like that. It's like
Yeah.
I just wanted to shine a light on her just because of how proud
Absolutely.
I am to be her parent and how special she is and how much I love her.
Well,
I
I just
literally
want to
She's your
send
remember
you
light.
that
a virtual
moment.
hug.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember that was a crazy day. I remember he used to do it a lot, but it was one day in particular. He was sitting there just gazing off into the wall, and I was in severe pain because I was engorged. Um,
Mm.
it's like I knew my child died, but my body didn't know, so I was
Mm-hmm.
producing milk,
Yeah.
walking around with cabbage on my chest, trying to dry myself up, and I'm a mess. I look crazy, and he's staring off, gazing at the wall, and I remember thinking, how did we get here? Like, what is going on? Like, he's not looking at me. I'm staring at him, and then our daughter comes running down the hallway, and she grabs his whole head and gives him a kiss, and then
Aw.
he like gives her back a kiss, and you can see in the embrace how therapeutic
Mm-hmm.
that was for him. And I
Yes.
just remember just running to the bathroom crying, thinking like,
Mm-hmm.
oh God, like the guilt again, like if I would only chose the right doctors, my family wouldn't be in this position right here,
Hmm.
And so then
And it's hard, like just,
it's hard.
especially the timing of it, because when she passed, it was like a week and a half before my birthday. So now every time my birthday comes around, thinking about,
Trigger.
my
Yeah.
daughter, it's like
And we got her cremated, and you picked up her
picked up
ashes.
her ashes on my birthday that year.
Oh.
Picked up her ashes on my birthday that year. We woke up that morning
Mm-hmm.
and went and picked them up. So like that'll be something I always remember. I think that was my 34th birthday.
Mm.
So yes, just stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
kind of messes with you.
And I always say like Halo, he names her. Her name is Halo
I was just
Sky.
about to say, where did the name Halo come from?
Yeah.
And he named her that before she was even born. That was gonna be her name. You can tell them more about the name.
So I wanted a boy. I'll start there. I wanted a boy when Melody came around. We had Melody. Like I said, I'm I'm so glad she's not a boy and she is who she is.
Yes.
But for the second child, I'm like, oh, I want a boy. But Melody, she was 2, getting ready to go on 3. We wanted to start getting her into some extracurricular activities, things like that. So there's a dance class that we took her to, and we went and took her into the class. And when we went, it was another little girl in her class, and started playing around. We met her parents, and we were just kind of telling them about our children. We're like, what's your child's name? And they said her daughter's name was Halo, and it like just hit me like crazy. Like it hit me like
Wow.
it was wild. Like I was like,
That's it.
I was telling her, I really like that. Like I
Yeah.
love that name. Like I love that name. And we were leaving the place, and I told her, I was like, if we do have another girl, I still want a boy, but if we do have another girl, her name is gonna be Halo. And then I always said if I had a daughter, I wanted to have her name be Sky. So I
How did
basically
you
put
spell
the
it?
two. Yeah. So when we found out she was a girl, Halo Sky, boom. What's crazy is we didn't know that this would be her fate, and like now she's literally an angel.
in the sky.
Halo.
So I like part of me is still annoyed. I feel guilty in a way because it feels like I almost contributed to it. I know that's not really the case, but it still feels like, dang, like I gave her this name and she's not even here to experience it on her.
That name, and I'm like, that's a beautiful name, and
Yeah.
it's not.
It is.
It really speaks to her cause and what her purpose was here
Exactly.
on this earth in a crazy way,
In hindsight.
right?
Yeah.
So
It's a real beautiful name, and unfortunately,
Yeah.
the purpose of the name is in the cause that we now live. We would have much rather had her, but even that was like crazy. Everybody's like, "Did you name her that after she passed?" I'm like, "No."
No.
we had that name ready.
We
Like,
had
Exactly.
a gender
Yeah.
reveal. I was getting ready to start planning the baby shower and had blue that I was gonna do. Like I had everything. Do
Yeah.
my registry. Like that was the point of the pregnancy. After the 20 weeks, and they
Right.
tell you good. Now
Exactly.
you're running your mouth to everybody,
Mhm.
and you telling everybody what's going on, and
baby blue is her color, so that's why we wear it as often as we do, including right now.
Good.
Just it's our way to represent her. I mean, like I said earlier, I got tattooed. Shannon got one as well.
mine isn't as extravagant.
She's
I
got
got Amber. her whole
So you
page.
probably can't even see it. Look,
You
it's
have to
right
send us
there.
a picture.
Yeah.
So I got it after she passed away. I was 33, about to turn 34, and I just remember this panic. I was like, Drew, like I didn't have any tattoos, but I felt like when I was turning 34 after she passed away, I was like, oh my God, I'm getting another year of life that she's not. I'm leaving my child behind. And that was the panic that was in my chest. Like, no, like I can't get another year of life and I don't have my child. And like,
Yeah.
and I know this sounds so crazy if you haven't been through this. I sound crazy. I know that. But in my mind, I was leaving my child behind. And I wanted to take her into the next year with me. So I told Drew I want to get a tattoo. I called my best friend. She was like, you want to get a tattoo? I was like, yeah, and I'm dead serious. And she's like, well, Shan, book it and I'll go with you. We'll get it together. We'll get a tattoo together. And I went, he picked out the font and we got it done. But I just needed to have her. And I know this tattoo isn't her, but I just needed.
I get it.
It's our way to represent
Yeah,
her.
I have
Like,
That's
Amber's
real.
whole face.
That's real.
I have
Exactly.
Amber's whole face right here.
Wow.
I just and I can get exactly where you're coming from when you feel when I'm not advocating, when I don't have traction. They hear me say it all the time. That is the worst for me. I feel like I am doing my child a disservice. I feel like I am losing her if I am not advocating, if I'm not holding people accountable. It's the worst for me. The
Yeah.
most therapeutic thing for me is to doing something to commemorate my child.
Absolutely. And she's not, fortunately, it's kind of wild for us. Like, we're still young, but as long as we live, then to have a child who barely got a moment on this earth, not a day, not an hour, not even a minute, a moment. Like she never got a chance to she never got a chance to represent herself, on our side of things. So, I felt like I was like, I gotta do this. And you could ask anybody that's around me, like, my brothers got tatted way before. Like, I was not getting no tattoos. I was stubborn about it. But unfortunately, in this situation, this is why you can never say never, because you never know
Right.
what's coming your way. And I had to represent her. I think Shannon caught me one day, like looking at different tattoo ideas on my phone. And she's like, oh, I was thinking about doing that too. So yeah, it's very important that I carry her with her for the rest of my life.
Amen.
And that's just
Even
one of
right
the ways
now,
I
I
do it.
got my nails done Valentine's Day, and I have a blue heart. I made them draw it. You can't see it.
Oh,
Like I always find ways to incorporate her because that to me keeps her alive,
Yes.
and I never want her to die. I mean, I just a moment that haunts me a lot. I would say is that feeling, that cold feeling. So she died
Yeah.
as she passed, and I felt the moment life left her body, but my husband saw it. So we experiencing that in two different ways, and that cold stab to the like I can't even like that feeling. It has never left me and will never leave me.
It will
That
not.
cold dagger to the heart and that pounding of the chest. Y'all know the pounding, your chest about to come out, the heart about to come out your chest.
Completely.
Some nights I'm like, oh, I'm gonna die. Like I'm going to die. I won't make it. I was like, let me just tell my friends and family what happened to me, just in case I die of a heart attack one night, because the heartbreak I felt would kill me, and I didn't know how to keep my child name alive. Like even after getting the tattoo, I still wasn't satisfied. It's like this is not enough. Like I have to do more.
But every time you speak her name, every time you speak her name in every room that you go in, and you command people to listen to what you have to say, her memory, and that's the thing, commanded. But my last question for y'all is, what has brought you some form of joy to be able to breathe and to be able to live outside of your daughter, Melody? You were saying this is y'all's light, but especially for you, Shannon, because you felt Halo grow inside of you. You felt all of those things. How are you finding joy and peace for you in everything? Because I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy. So how are you trying to give yourself grace and give yourself a moment to just be present with you and be happy and not feel guilty?
And not feel guilty. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I definitely haven't found joy or peace yet.
Okay.
I have moments where I may, you may see me be happy, laughing and smiling and stuff. But that's a really good question.
And you don't have to. You may be able to tell us
I
in
don't want
another
to even try to answer that. I don't
podcast.
even
You may
know
be
if
able to say it in a different thing.
So
But
I don't think I've had that yet. I truly depend on my daughter Melody a lot. Like I grab on to her like a lot to
That's
help
real.
push me forward.
that's real.
My
That's
relationship
real.
with God, I'm praying, but I'm human. I get mad at God sometimes.
Yes.
I get angry. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like that's not even possible for me. To have like true joy again. Like I would say like that day, like August 1st, like forever changed how I look at things or people. Like I don't take life for granted, and when it comes to trusting people around me and who I have around my child, I think that would never ever be the same. Like I can't ever go back. Like I feel like it's changed me in that way. Like I don't feel peace. I'm always on the edge. Like I hope this doesn't go wrong. I'm like this, like all the time. And he has to calm me down. Like Shannon, it's okay. Like, and I'm like I constantly go back to August 1st. Like I'm there all the time. So anything happens, it could be a small thing. Melody just fell. Oh God, like something wrong with her head. How hard did she hit her head?
Trust me.
We go to the doctor. We need to get a second opinion. You just don't go to this one doctor. We got to get. We're gonna have to get another bill. We're going to the ER. I know you think it's whatever, but we're going to CHOA now, and we're gonna spend $2,000 for me to find out. We're going to every doctor. It's a lot. Yeah. Yeah, but I would say Drew helps a lot to keep me level. But peace and joy, I can't say I found that yet. I'm hopeful, but not yet.
It does come. It will come. It will.
I have a different perspective on that. And, obviously it's part of my mission to help her find that joy.
Okay.
Because I mean, ultimately, for us to go through what we went through, we deserve it. You know, if anybody deserves to find the peace and joy, you
That's
know,
right.
we deserve it. And you know, there's a guilt that comes along with it, unfortunately. But at the same time, we have to understand that you know we we deserve it.
You
We
do.
gotta have it.
You,
So whether it be, you know, what I do is I pour into hobbies. So
Yep.
things I like to do, whether it be playing basketball, watching, working out, spending time with my family. I lean on her a lot as well
Yeah.
for when I do have those moments. But I mean, we deserve it. So
That's
I
right.
don't have the mindset
You
that
deserve it.
I'm just never gonna be, you know, find peace and joy, because I feel like part of our trust in God is gonna allow us to get there,
That's right.
even though we don't see a way how we could get there after what
mm,
happened to us.
Will.
He's gonna get us there
Gonna get
regardless
yes.
of whether we know how it's gonna happen or not. But he's gonna get us there, and I have full trust and faith that he will. I don't think he would put us through this without, you know, without there being something on the other side for us
yeah.
Yeah.
to hold on to that brings us peace, joy, happiness. And that doesn't mean that, you know, Halo's not going to ever go anywhere as far as, you know, she's always going to be front of mind for us. We're always going to honor her, love her. The stuff that we're doing right now in honor of her is extremely, it's dope. Like, it's really good stuff that we're working on. So we'll always, you know, and
Yes.
she'll be along for the journey as long as we live.
Amen.
But like I said, I have trust in God that he's going to bring us where we need to be when it comes to peace and love and joy and happiness. And, you know, as long as we, you know, keep faith in him and allow him to guide our steps and chart the path that we need to go, he's going to get us where we need to go. And I have the utmost faith that, you know, we're going to find our peace, and he's going to provide us with the tools necessary to do so.
And he will.
And this is why I love my Drew. He's
And
the
that's right.
balance.
And on that note, I know y'all, this has been such an amazing episode. I really, 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 Shannon and Drew, I would love to have y'all back for
Yes.
whenever y'all
Yes,
can
of
come back.
course. Yeah.
And I enjoyed this.
And thank you guys
is
for your time and even thinking to, you know, put us on this
Absolutely.
podcast. I mean, y'all
Absolutely.
could be doing anything right now.
And I was
speaking
actually,
to us, we appreciate it.
I stopped because I was looking at your introduction, and I began to read where at the end, this last paragraph, in the midst of your grief, you've made a promise that Halo's life would matter and that her story would not be forgotten. Since then, you've been working alongside advocacy groups and lawmakers to push for meaningful improvements in Georgia's maternity health care system so that other families do not have to endure the same pain. And that is where you find peace. I had to say, I couldn't save my child, but to be able to help somebody else, to speak, to advocate, it will save somebody else's life.
Absolutely.
And
Would you
that's
say
how
you
I
found peace and joy? You have?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
well,
can
I
truly
mean,
say it. It
that's
took me
good.
a long time, and it took it what happened. This brings you closer to God, and once you
For
become
sure.
closer to God, and I mean an intimate close, and he says, "I will give you peace that surpasseth all
All
understanding,
understanding.
and it will guard your heart." And that's where I am. And I find peace, I find joy when I'm serving in ministry. I find joy when I step on the platforms and I tell the story. I don't let them script anything. I talk about the lived experiences. I am vulnerable. I tell the truth. I don't let people try to tell me how to tell my experience. And that is where I find joy, but mostly because it drew me closer to God. Not that somebody told me about it, not that I was coached, but this type of trauma, it's either going to bring you closer to God or it's going to drive you away. And for me, it brought me closer. And when I lift my hands to worship, to sing, it's pure, it's honest, and it's natural. And that is how I found peace and joy.
It's good.
Shannon,
And when
I have
And when I smile now, I don't feel guilty. Why are you smiling? Your daughter died and you was right there. At first, I was tormented by that. And then I would just begin to lay out. I made an altar in my bedroom. And I just began to lay out and cry out to God. Like, that's the enemy that wants you to believe that you're at fault.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta tell a liar.
And that is, I would say, definitely a constant battle.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
battle.
not there 100%
But
yet
you
with the
will
peace
be.
and joy.
I promise you, you will.
But I will say, I do think, it eventually come, but I will
It
not
will.
sit here and lie to anybody and tell them I'm so
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not.
I don't have
Yeah,
peace, Shannon.
I'm just not there yet.
I don't have peace, but I have found joy.
And I'm gonna
And
tell
the
you
joy
why
comes to me a
and
little bit.
also I have peace because I'm not looking at what's going on around. See, you got to take your eyes off of what's going on around us with the lawmakers, with the doctors. I know what God told me, and when you talk to me, you always hear me say one thing: I don't care what they say, but I know what God promised me, and God promised me that these laws were going to be changed. He promised me that we were going to get justice. He promised me. And that's why I have joy, because I know that this evil has an expiration date.
And last thing I'll add, when this happened, everything that we were going through, I always knew that the ultimate goal of this was to be able to make a positive change and impact so that other
Amen.
people
That's
don't have to
it.
go through this.
Yes.
Obviously, we're in litigation right now, but we want to hold those accountable for that, for one,
Absolutely.
That's
but
right.
ultimately
Absolutely.
we want to prevent this from happening to as many families as we possibly
There you
could.
go.
And being quiet and not saying anything about it, unfortunately, isn't the way to do that. We
Amen.
found when we did come out with our story, there was so many people who reached out to us and told us about their situation where they experienced something similar to us, who would have never said anything to us if we didn't open up
There you
about
go.
it. So even that creates community.
And then that's
Yes.
another thing for the ones that don't feel like they can talk about it. We want to reach those people because we're a community. That's why it is crazy how God take the foolish things to confound the wise. It's crazy that we would even, who knew that we were going to be here, all of us, different times, but the same experiences. Who knew
Yeah.
that we were going to be here? We never know why God does what he do, but we just have to accept it and run with whatever that vision, whatever it is. But it all unfolds, but we got to just not see it in the natural.
Sure.
We got to walk by faith and not by what we see.
A lot of things we go through in this life, we're not going to understand until we get to the other
Never
side.
understand.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
No point in
So,
trying.
Nope.
yes, with that being said,
As
I
many
am
times
so
as you
grateful.
question, you just
Yes,
got to be like, Lord, okay, I'm
I
Right.
not
am
going to ask that
so
question
grateful.
again.
Yes, and I am so grateful. And like y'all, I'm in that litigation as well. And they think they're gonna win, but they're not.
Mm-mm.
They're
We
not.
won't let them.
They're not gonna win. They're not gonna win, Shannon. They're not gonna win, Drew. You're gonna find your joy and your peace. I'm telling
Absolutely.
you, it will happen. And on that note, I know this has been so good. And I do, anytime that y'all can come back, please reach out, because
Yes, we will.
this
Be in
is,
Drew's
touch.
going to have his own talks with men. He's going to be
yes,
telling us about that,
yes,
how that's
how
going.
Yeah.
that's gonna
She
work.
holding me accountable, huh?
We are, yes,
I
I
am.
because
could
I
have just been,
promise you
nah.
I
you
am.
just
It's been
never
on my
know.
heart, so I got to
God
do it.
chose you as the male to go through this, to be in this with your wife, so you could
I'm
be a
not even
blessing.
gonna lie to you guys. I bought this,
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Come on. We
so it's
ready.
you ready.
we
You going to have
working
us on
towards
your
something.
show
We working
It's
next.
gonna
towards something.
happen. It's going
You going
to
to have us on your
happen.
show next.
It is going to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah,
It is
we
going
working on
to
that.
happen. It's going to happen. It will happen.
Well,
It will.
just know that we will continue to uplift Halo's name in spaces that we
Absolutely.
are in.
Yes.
Thank
We will
you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
continue to
much.
uplift Melody's name, who is your light, to
Yes.
let them know that she was the big sister that should have been able to take care of her little sister. And they
Absolutely.
took that away, but we will continue to uplift her name
Yes.
because
And we
she
will be
deserves
keeping
to be
y'all in
heard.
prayer.
Amen.
Yes.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Yes.
We will. Thank you
I
guys
am
for your time, and I know in
absolutely.
talking about this, I saw you tearing up Shanette in moments,
Yes.
and you too as well, Suki. Like I do know that speaking about things like this brings you back to a dark place, and I just want to
Yes.
thank you for even being willing to allow yourself to go there for that moment for us to share our experience with you.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. I am just so grateful. Y'all don't know. I am extremely grateful. It takes segments like this to bring reality to the world.
Yes.
And we will get change. We will. And I'm extremely excited. I'm grateful for the listening audience. I'm grateful for people that continuously follow us and just, help to make We Talk About It what it is. And I just believe, God, that it's going to go further. And I'm
Absolutely.
grateful.
I can't wait to see it because
I
it's
can't
coming.
wait.
It's
And
Okay,
all over you
yeah,
guys,
look,
and you
God's
can't even
ears.
see it. You
Yes.
I mean,
can't
even
even
the way
see
we're
it. You can't
connected is a
even see
blessing.
it. I
So
see
Yes.
it
Even the
around
way
you.
we were connected is just so
Absolutely.
crazy, and
Yep.
that's how I know we're doing the right thing.
Mhm.
That's
God has
right.
lined us up with the perfect people, and it's like all the
Yep.
connections. It's easy. It hasn't been hard
It,
talking and reaching out to people and
that's
having people
right.
willing to help. So that's how we know it is God driven.
Yep. Yep.
And that this will work out. Everything
It
is,
will.
we will get justice.
That's,
Yes,
Things
absolutely.
will
that's so.
change.
And on that
Yes.
note,
I will let you know.
Yeah.
I'm actually about to text you tomorrow about something else to talk
okay.
about
All
with you.
right. And
Yeah.
thank
Yeah. It's
so
good to have someone like that.
I'm
I'm
just
happy that you
grateful.
do have her and that y'all have each other.
Girl,
And that's a whole nother conversation of how
a
we
whole
even
nother conversation
connected.
for a whole
Trust
nother
me.
time.
Yes. All right. Well, y'all have a good one. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Have a blessed week.
Thank you guys.
Thank
And that's a wrap on this episode of We Talk About It. Whether you laughed, learned something new, or just enjoyed the conversation, we're glad you're here with us. If today's talk resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and follow us on social media to stay connected. We've got more honest, real, and meaningful conversations coming your way. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep talking about it.